Thank you, councillors and everybody else in attendance. Time being 6:30 p.m. Now call the meeting to order and declare it open. In the event of an emergency, the building may be evacuated. You'll be required to evacuate the building at the rear entrance and gather at the breezeway between the library and art gallery buildings. This is council's designated emergency muster point. Under no circumstances is anybody permitted to re-enter the building until the all clear has been given and the area is deemed safe by authorised personnel. In the event of an evacuation, a member of council staff will assist any persons present with a disability to vacate the building. I'll now ask the Chief Executive Officer if there have been any apologies for absence this evening.
Mr Mayor, we have an apology from Councillor Whitten. Councillor Kinghorn and Peterson are attending via audio-visual link and have provided me with appropriate reasons.
Thank you. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor McDonald, seconded by Councillor Judge. All in favour? Unanimous. Thank you. This council is being live streamed and recorded. By speaking at the council meeting, you agree to be live streamed and recorded. Please ensure that if and when you speak at the council meeting that you ensure that you are respectful to others and use appropriate language at all times. The City Council accepts no liability for any defamatory or offensive remarks or gestures made during the course of the council meeting. Recording of the council meeting may be made for administrative purposes. Acknowledgement of country. I would like to acknowledge the Wiradjuri people who are the traditional custodians of the land. I would like to pay my respect to elders both past, present of the Wiradjuri nation and extend respect to other Aboriginal Australians and non-Indigenous people who are present with us tonight. Does any councillor have any or wish to declare any conflict of interest in any matter for consideration here tonight for this meeting? Yes, Councillor Mallard.
Thanks, Mayor. A couple to declare in Finance Policy Committee item 2.1, the small donations. A significant non-pecuniary interest in 2B, the donation to environmentally concerned citizens of Orange. I'm an active member of ECHO and involved in their events. And a less than significant non-pecuniary interest in 2E, the Rotary Club and the Orange Sustainable Living Expo. Electrify 2800, which is a project of ECHO, will likely be having a stall at the event, but I am not involved in the organising or running of the Sustainable Living Expo, so I'll stay in the room for that one.
Thank you. On Teams, I have Councillor Kinghorn.
Oh, thank you, Mr Mayor. I've got a couple. The first one is the Planning and Development Committee item 2.3, which is 8 Whistling Way. And that's one that my husband his company has done some environmental consulting work on. So that's a significant pecuniary interest. I won't be voting on that one. The second one is the Finance Policy Committee 2.1 item 2G, which is the Philip Shaw fundraising for the breast care nurses. I won't vote on this. It's not pecuniary, but I have been the recipient of care from a McGrath Foundation breast care nurse, so it probably would influence the way I would vote. So I will abstain from voting on that one.
Thank you. Are there any others?
Yes, I just wanted to say for the finance 2.1K, which is a donation to local scouts. Long history as a scout, youth member, Queen Scout, and volunteer leader. But my involvement locally is just as a supporter. Quite happy to remain in the room and vote.
Thank you, Councillor. I'll declare one in item 4.1 notice of motion. As I am President of the Orange District Football Association, I have a less than significant non-pecuniary interest as President, and this motion may affect that association, so I'll be staying in the room and I will be voting. Councillor Greenhalgh.
I better declare as well that I'm involved with Bloomfield Junior Rugby League, and that will also probably affect my association. But yeah, I'll be staying in the room and will be voting as well.
Thank you. The Council will now adjourn for the conduct of open forum. When addressing the Council, speakers at the public forum must comply with the Code of Meeting Practice and all other relevant Council codes, policies and procedures. Speakers must refrain from engaging in disorderly conduct, publicly alleging breaches of the Council's Code of Conduct, or make other potentially defamatory statements. I ask that you respect be respectful of this chamber and all of us here tonight. We have 6 registered speakers tonight who will be permitted 5 minutes speaking time. A warning bell will sound after 4 minutes. Out of those 6 speakers, 2 are online, and that is Kate Steniforth and Connor England. So our first speaker is an item, FPC item 2.1, small donations, request a donation, and that is Kerry Ford from Blossoms Rescue. Is Kerry in the room? If you'd like to come up to the elected. Before you start, I would just like to introduce the councillors. Online we have Councillor Kinghorn and Councillor Peterson. In the room we have Councillor Greenhalgh, Deputy Mayor, Councillor McDonald, Councillor Power, Councillor Mallard. We go across the room, we have Councillor Ruddy, Councillor Steadman and Councillor Judge. You have 5 minutes and you are ready.
Okay. Opportunity to present tonight. I'm really representing Beck, who runs the organisation by herself. She's actually been running this non-for-profit for 14 years. She's very passionate. I just can't believe her commitment day and night rescuing cats and kittens within our community. She's a real jewel. I can't thank her enough. I just wanted to say she has an extra workload with the RSPCA closing down. The rangers locally are giving Beck's number out when they deem that Beck is the one that is best placed to work on whichever issue it is. Beck just recently has had quite large organisations within Orange ask for her assistance. For instance, Aldi and Domino's with having cats and kittens. They're basically, I mean, like ourselves, we need shelter, we need food, and we need to belong somewhere. And they did maybe belong somewhere or multiplied. Yeah, they just need ongoing support. Spring and summer are coming up. That's going to be a busy period for cats multiplying. Their food source, if they can't access anything else, can be our local native birds in Orange. You know, ideally cats would be best placed living in a safe environment like we hopefully live in. Yeah, Beck has an issue with funding. She's very committed, but she needs the support of funding. I just wanted to have a couple of examples that really sort of bring home what's happened. Beck was saying that she was called by someone in the community and a cat was trapped in a metal food can. It could breathe, but it couldn't get out, and it was highly distressed. The community member didn't know what to do, called Beck. Then, of course, Beck comes out, goes to the vets. The cat's sedated. They get the can off. They repair the damage to the cat. What an awful way for a cat to try and access food. Another issue that I heard about was at Elephant Park just the other week. A little kitten was in the toilets and was covered in faeces and trying to find some source of food. It's now been de-sexed, picked the cat up. A community member alerted Beck to that. The cat's been de-sexed and now it's in a safe, secure environment. Yeah, it's the current vet bill for Beck, it's under $10,000. There's a very supportive vet in Orange, but the account is really up too high. It's really sad when Beck comes in with such passion to support our beautiful community, but it just honestly needs funding. The funding from the vet is de-sexing and really crucial operations or whatever that the cat is needing, or the kitten, so that they can have a second chance at life. So really Beck needs the funding to continue. So I really ask that you really consider this, and she needs ongoing funding. It's really awful when you're a one-person band and you're doing such a beautiful job, but you just need the funding. So please consider. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Kerry. Our next speaker on the same item, small donations, request for donation, is Kate Steneforth from Canobolas Public School, PNC, and she is online. Into the meeting. When you're ready, Kate, you can speak, please. Kate, when you're ready, you're just on mute.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, something went wrong with my headset then, so I've just taken it off. Hopefully my children will behave in the background. Thanks so much for allowing me the opportunity to chat to you all this evening. As you can see from our submission, it's from the Canobolas Public School Parents and Citizens Association, of which I'm a member. And we fund each year where possible on our end of year presentation to the students, of which we have a student body of just 135. Each child, we aim to be able to give them a book at the end of year presentation. We feel as a committee and a school community, this is a really beautiful gift to give our children. It speaks volumes to what we want our kids to do in our community, to go home and read and further educate themselves and enjoy that, particularly in our sort of age, which we're all aware of just screens. We hope that giving this gift to our children at the end of the school year might enable them to take it home during the school holidays, of which is very long over summer, read that novel, keep it for years to come potentially, and sort of take pride in the school that they've been given that gift. The aim is for the students, through our librarian and the teachers, to not just give any novel to each individual student, but to see what their interests are, so that the novel that they are given is something that we are quite confident is something they're going to enjoy. It's something that's of interest to them, whether that be sport orientated or STEM or whatever it might be. We do sort of, there's a lot of thought that goes into that, so we feel more confident that that book will be read and cherished, and so that's sort of what we're about. We're constantly fundraising as a PNC. I think particularly being a small country school, as I said, we've got 135 students, so in terms of our catchment and ability to fundraise, it is more limited than it would be at a bigger school. As a parent of 4 children, it's definitely, I've seen, my youngest is at Canobolas, and it's a very different environment in terms of how invested the PNC is in the school from a needs basis. The PNC meet every month, which I've never seen before with my involvement at schools. I'm missing a PNC meeting tonight. And so I think that really speaks volumes to how integral they are to helping raise funds for the school for equipment and facility improvement, etc. So when there's opportunities like this that arise where we're able to get funding from external sources and, you know, amazing donations and grants such as this one, it really has a big impact for us, so that we can focus our fundraising efforts on a huge variety of things. And in this case, as you would have seen, the novels that we can give the children would just be an amazing end of year wrap up to the year, and gift that they can keep for a long, long time. So that's about it, really. We've estimated, as you can see, that approximately $15 per book we thought was quite reasonable. So that amounts to $2,025. And then we've added our volunteer hours, because the PNC will compile the books and get them ready for our end of year presentation. So thank you again for your time and for consideration of this donation for our little small community. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Kate.
Cheers.
Councillors, our next speaker is Ashley Browning from Philip Shaw Wines on the same item, 2.1, small donations, request for donation. Would you like to come up?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Deputy Mayor, councillors, distinguished guests and members of the Orange community. My name is Ashley Browning and I'm a proud Orange resident currently working as the events manager at Philip Shaw Wines. I appreciate the opportunity to speak at this evening's council meeting in support of a sponsorship request submitted to Orange City Council for our upcoming event, the Breast Long Lunch, to be held on the 27th of September 2025. This event is a new initiative and one we hope to see become an annual tradition. It was born from a collaboration between Philip Shaw Wines and a valued community member, Renee Markwick, who approached us with the idea of hosting a long lunch to raise awareness and funds for the McGrath Foundation. Renee's story is one that resonates deeply. Following a routine mammogram at age 45, she received a life-changing diagnosis. Renee, you have breast cancer. Like many women, in that moment, her first thought was her family, particularly her youngest child being just 9 years of age at the time of her diagnosis. The day after her diagnosis, Renee received a phone call from Chelsea Davis, one of Orange's local breast care nurses. That conversation lasted hours. From that moment on, Chelsea supported Renee every step of the way, from attending specialist appointments, offering unwavering support to her radiation therapy, and ongoing. In Renee's words, her journey through breast cancer was made bearable, perhaps manageable, because of her breast care nurse. That support, comfort and advocacy is what we are seeking to honour and promote through the Breast Long Lunch. For those unfamiliar, the McGrath Foundation is a nationally respected Australian non-profit dedicated to funding specialist cancer care nurses and raising breast cancer awareness. Founded in 2005 by Glenn McGrath and his late wife Jane McGrath, with over 302 McGrath breast care nurses currently working across Australia. With more than 161,000 families supported and 319 hours of care, 319 hours of 1,000 hours of care delivered. The Foundation now supports individuals affected by all types of cancer. Their services are free of charge with no referral needed. McGrath nurses provide clinical, emotional and psychological support from diagnosis through to recovery and palliative care. Our aims for this event are clear: to raise local awareness of the McGrath Foundation's work and presence here in the local community, to educate community members that free mammograms are available from the age of 40, despite common misconceptions that it starts at 50. To provide a supportive, empowering space for those currently living with cancer, awaiting test results, in remission, or remembering a loved one lost to the disease. But most importantly, to raise funds for the McGrath Foundation to help ensure no one in our community walks their cancer journey alone. We are proud to say this event is being brought to life by a wide range of passionate local businesses and individuals who have generously offered their time and services. Philip Shaw Wines providing the venue at no charge and including welcome drinks. Josie Chapman is catering the event at no cost, at cost. Bespoke Country Events, styling and event design. SK Media providing professional photography and videography. Kath Adams and Kyle Medding supplying music entertainment, and our guest speakers and MCs, Dr. Cheng, keynote speaker, Amy Vanderven, MC, and Chelsea Davis, one of our local McGrath breast care nurses. Additionally, many local businesses have donated items for raffles and auctions to be held on the day. We are so proud of the traction gained so far. All profits from each ticket sold is being donated directly to the McGrath Foundation. We have received $100,000 in sponsorship from Ward Nutrition, and as of today have sold 87 tickets to the event. We anticipate raising further funds through raffles and live auctions on the day. We are seeking council's support in the form of sponsorship to help us reach our fundraising goal of $20,000. This will go directly towards funding McGrath breast care nurses who continue to provide vital care to people right here in our own community. On behalf of Renee, myself, and the entire team behind the Breast Long Lunch, I thank you for your time and consideration. This event is not only about raising funds, it's about raising awareness, providing support, and celebrating the incredible strength of those affected by cancer. We hope this is the beginning of an ongoing partnership with Orange City Council, and we thank you for your support today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. It's somebody get Ashley a glass of water, please. Council staff. The next speaker is John Mills from Rotary Club of Orange. John will be speaking on the same item, 2.1, small donations, request for donations. You have 5 minutes, John.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you to councillors for allowing me to talk tonight. Rotary Club of Orange is an Orange-based community service organisation which is part of a worldwide network of Rotary clubs. We support the local community with an emphasis on youth health and education. We work through our sustainable living projects to enhance the local environment, reduce waste, reduce energy use, and our community's carbon footprint. We've been running a Sustainable Living Week / Expo project in Orange for the last 17 years. We have an ongoing commitment to sustainability and allowing the Orange community to gain skills and knowledge to actually become more sustainable. These activities are in line with Rotary International's goal. Actually, one of their 7 focus areas is the environment and protecting the environment. This project is also in line with the Council's strategy on environment and climate change. With the project, there is significant in-kind contributions made by the members of our club, other community members and council to organise and run the Orange Sustainable Living Expo and associated Sustainable Living Week activities. In terms of benefits to Orange Sustainable Living Expo and its associated events is designed to raise the profile of sustainability, including waste reduction and recycling, water and energy efficiency in the home and electric transportation, environmental management and the reduction of the carbon footprint in Orange and its community by providing access to practical knowledge and skills to live more sustainably and promote local businesses. We've got a number of local businesses that will have stalls at the expo, and that allows people to actually come and talk to locals, suppliers, whether it be solar panels or batteries or other aspects of the environment. It really does promote local businesses, and it also helps to promote Orange as an environmentally sustainable city. Your assistance, if approved, will assist us in the cost of hiring presenters, presentation equipment, marketing and promotion of the event. So I'm hoping that you see fit to support us in that way. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Councillors, our next speaker is online, and it's Mr. Connor England with regards to the Orange Parkhour OPK. It's item 4.2, notice of motion. You're ready, Connor. You can speak. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, councillors, for your time today. I really appreciate it. Last time I was here in this hall, now I'm online, talking to you about parkour was in November of 2023. Since then, the sport has changed quite a lot, and only in a year and a half. Last time I was here, I told you about what parkour could do for the town and what a parkour park could also do for the town. Today, I am going to tell you about, again, what it can do for you, but I'm also going to tell you about what I can do for you using this park. OPK's mission, Orange Parkour's mission, the business that I started at the start of this year, and an ongoing parkour community that is already established in this town. Our mission is to get this sport to as many people as possible and excel people as far as they can in this sport, whether that be kids or teens. Next to me, I have a white paper from LARC with years of backed up research. This white paper states that if a kid attends one singular structured parkour class, they have a 30% less chance of participating in crime and antisocial behaviour. OPK's mission is to get this park and get many classes as possible to as many kids as possible. We are hoping to run monthly free lessons and community interaction events at this park on a monthly basis that are free of charge to get this to as many people as possible. Over the past 10 years, parkour has made the top 4 searches of sports in teens and youths in Google searches. Nationally, it's rising in popularity, with multiple parks popping up in other cities around the state. To name a few, Parramatta, Engadine, and many more have opened up multiple parkour parks already in their towns. I run OPK, Orange Parkour. One of OPK's goals is to have a nationally and internationally recognised program and athletes. This includes holding national competitions at said park and using the park to propel us and propel the town of Orange and turn us into more of a hub for parkour people to come, compete and train, and also to get the community involvement with said events. OPK's goal is also to hold NatGat, National Parkour Gathering, one year. NatGat is a yearly event run in a host city around the country. Last year, the city of Newcastle saw 350 parkour athletes over 3 days train within the city. OPK's goal is to hopefully have this in Orange.
You're on mute, sir.
This park is very vital to getting our operation up and running and also to helping the Orange community. Getting this park built is one of my personal goals and something that I'm very passionate about. Getting the designs for this park approved and finalised and ready to go is the first step on our amazing journey that hopefully we can share with the rest of our community. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Connor. Councillors, our last speaker is in relation to PDC item 2.2, development application DA 246/2025, brackets 149 Hill Street, and we have Mr. Len Banks from the Orange City Croquet Club. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, councillors and staff. The Orange City Croquet Club has 75 members, and we play the sport of croquet on 2 specialised grass courts on Jaeger Reserve in Hill Street. And we play 5 days a week. So this development application for your consideration is to establish a 3rd court on the Jaeger Reserve immediately to the west of the current existing 2 courts. The rationale for needing another court is that our sport is growing in Orange. We've gained 10 new members in the last 12 months. That's a 15% increase. And in fact, we played this afternoon and there were 2 more visitors come down to try the game, and looks like they'll be interested in joining. Most members are seniors, and are attracted to the sport because of its social interaction, its outdoor activity within the limits of each individual, and the ease of learning and playing for people who have not necessarily been great sports people in the past. The mental and physical benefits are enormous. It's also a sport for all ages, and in fact, it is a component of the Orange 8-Day Games. We currently hold 2 carnivals a year, and with a third court, we could attract 50% more players from across the state for each carnival. We could also hold state competitions and training days with an extra court. In addition, we'll be able to maintain our facilities in better condition with the capacity to spell courts and renovate them sequentially to maintain a good grass cover, especially in the winter when the couch grass is dormant. We still play on the dormant grass, but we need to take care of it. The club maintains the facility with funds raised from members and community fundraising. This includes paying for greenkeeping, water, electricity, the clubhouse maintenance, and upgrading our playing equipment. For example, we've added a concrete path from the clubhouse right through to Hill Street in the recent past with a 40% contribution from council and the rest from our club. And Jaeger Reserve is a thoroughfare for pedestrians between Hill Street and Clinton Street, and this access will be maintained with the third court. Even during construction, that'll be fine. So the club will be seeking funding from government sports grants to cover the cost of this development. So any assistance, of course, or support from council will be greatly appreciated in the future. So I commend the development application to you and look forward to your consideration. Thank you very much.
Mr. Banks. Council meeting will now resume. There are no mayoral minutes. We'll go on to item 3, confirmation of minutes of the previous meeting. 3.1, minutes of the ordinary meeting, Orange City Council held on the 19th of August 2025. Could I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Powell, seconded by Councillor McDonald. Any discussion? Yes, Councillor Mallard.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, I had a query and on page 11, item 5.3, the resolution it's reproduced the recommendation that was in the agenda of the last meeting. Point 2, as I moved it, was that we determine that we make a submission supporting the staff assessment and the recommendation for a notice of refusal and the reasons given. So I'm not sure if that can just be corrected or if that needs to be taken away.
Thank you. It's an administrative issue and we can rectify that.
Thanks.
Thanks, Councillor Mallard. Any further discussion, councillors? Yes, McDonald.
A question, probably through you to the CEO. Just wondering, we haven't heard anything about having that briefing on ST31. So if I'm happy for you to take it on notice, but yeah, if we could. Okay. Thank you.
Any further discussion, councillors? Being none, I'll move the motion. Show of hands. Unanimous, thank you. The council meeting will now adjourn to the conduct of the policy committees. I'll now hand over to Councillor McDonald for Planning and Development Policy Committee.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, before we start, sorry. Could we move things around and perhaps do the finance policy first? Because there's quite a few people waiting around for results of that. And I know planning often goes for a little while, so I wonder if we can get that one out of the way nice and early so people can get out of here.
Okay, seconded by Councillor Duffy. Show of hands.
Sorry, Mel.
Carried. Okay, so we'll go to item number finance. We'll go on finance first. That is myself. Filling in for Councillor Peterson, who is online. Councillors, I'd like to open the Finance Policy Committee meeting opened at 7:04 p.m. Go to item 1.1, Declaration of Interest. Do we have any? Yes. Just looking to see who they were. Who have we got?
Me.
Councillor Kinghorn. Staying in the room, aren't you, Councillor?
Which was G?
Yep.
No.
You're leaving? Thank you.
Yep. I'll be leaving for 2B, and I declared a less than significant non-pecuniary interest in 2E.
Thank you. We've got Councillor Peterson with 2.1 and 2K. I don't think there are any others. That's it. Okay. We go to item 2.1, small donations, requests for donations. Councillors, it is recommended that the items be held in and voted on in seriatim. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Mover by Councillor Greenhout, seconded by Councillor Judge. Any discussion regarding that? Being none, I'll show of hands. Thank you. Okay, number 2A, donate 2,500 to the Blossom Rescue to contribute to desexing and rehoming unwanted, injured and stray cats and kittens in the Orange area. Do I have a mover and a seconder? By Councillor Greenhout, seconded by Councillor McDonald. Any discussion? Councillor Mallard.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, I'm happy to support the funding, and I know we've provided support before, and I know we've talked about it before. I've talked about it a lot as chair of the Companion Animals Community Committee as well. The rehoming crisis we've got and the rehoming organisations in our community, the huge work that they do, and the burden that they take on. It's not an easy job. Well, it's not a job. It's not an easy voluntary task to do. I guess one thing I noted in this application, in the letter of support from the Western New South Wales Local Health District, was the issue of the capturing of cats from the Bloomfield campus and desexing and vaccinating them. But I note that it does note that some animals are being returned to the campus, which is, I understand the challenges of being a rehoming organisation and avoiding euthanasia. I can certainly appreciate the desire for that, but I'm also concerned about the implications of releasing cats again and their impact on native wildlife, particularly that's superb parrot habitat out there, a threatened species. It's something I think I'm interested in looking into a bit more. I do also wonder, in addition to Western New South Wales LHD, we also heard about other organisations who are getting assistance from Blossom's Rescue dealing with their cat issues, and hopefully they're being rehomed wherever possible, acknowledging the challenge of what the numbers are like. Yeah, I'm interested in finding out whether health is contributing to supporting this organisation, but also, yeah, concerned about the issue of the impact of cats roaming wild. And I see the LHD has basically made the argument that if you didn't return some, that others would either be dumped there or come in to occupy the area anyway. But it's a challenging area, yeah, and not one that affects my decision tonight, but it is one that I am interested in looking and talking to people involved in Blossom's Rescue, and looking at more broadly what we can do about these sorts of situations and how we maximise rehoming, minimise impact on native wildlife at the same time. Thanks.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor Duffy.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm usually not a supporter of something like this because I'm not a fan of cats. But the issue is if this keeps the cat population down and rehome and keeps them under control and keeps them in homes, that they're not out there killing the wildlife such as magpies, galahs and parrots and wildlife geckos and other types of lizards. I'm 100% for it. But my biggest concern is that once they get out in the wild, they just do ultimate millions and millions of native animals get destroyed by cats who aren't even native. But I'm in this case and I'll support it.
Thanks, Councillor. Any further speakers? Councillor Roddy.
Just really quickly, I'm in favour of this one. I just want to thank Beck for the incredible work that she does. It's very tireless and often very thankless work. So,
thank you. Further discussion, councillors?
I support the motion also, but we think it might be nice in previous years if funding comes back. Might be nice to get some numbers about the number of cats that are under sex through this program. See how it relates to council's own programs. Maybe we can learn from each other.
Thanks, Councillor Peterson. Being no further discussion, I'll put the motion to show of hands for. Unanimous. Councillors, we'll go to item 2.B to donate $2,500 to the environmental concerned citizens of Orange, ECHO, to contribute the cost of high-vis vests and purchasing gazebo for promotional purposes. Note that Councillor Mallard has declared an interest. He's left the room, and there are no others on this item. Can I have a councillor move and second? Moved by Councillor Roddy, seconded by Councillor McDonald. Any discussion, councillors? There being none, I'll put the motion. A show of hands for.
Oh, just me. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, you want to speak, councillor?
I do. I'm just concerned because the total amount for this round of donations is a lot higher than what should be the monthly average. It's almost 3 times higher based on the amount that we have left. And I'm just concerned about that. So I would like actually to move an amendment with this that we donate $612.50 to cover the high-vis vest, and they'll have to sort something else out for the gazebo.
Thank you.
Seconded.
Seconded by Councillor Duffy. Any further discussion? So we've got an amendment. We'll put the amendment first.
Can I just speak?
Yes, you can speak,
in favour of the amendment. I'm believe it or not, I support a lot of work that ECHO does as we're going through a lot of things. But one of the things that I support the high vis situation because a lot when there are demonstrating or protesting, probably not needed the words. They probably need to be able to be seen and all those type of things. There, must remember that ECHO was one of the organisations that got the Nublar's Coliseum, which we're building up out there, and they're with all the complaining about the trees disappearing, and they've got every right to do that. But I support the high vis articles, but I believe I support Councillor Kinghorn in saying if they want to promote there, if they go and get their own.
Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll speak against the amendment. I'd like to think that we don't hold grudges against community groups because of previous actions, and we judge things on the merits as they come before us. I do know that ECHO does a lot of advocacy, would be the word, rather than protests. Advocacy work and education work, it's all voluntary. I think the full amount, most people don't come to us all the time asking for lots of money. I think this is something we should support. Having a gazebo will actually, if you're talking about safety with high-vis vests, having a gazebo to keep the sun off is just as important in terms of safety as high-vis vests. So I think we need to do the full amount on this occasion.
Thanks, Councillor. Any further discussion? Okay, so I'll put the amendment first. A show of hands for the amendment. Councillor, we've got 2 online. 3, 4. 5, 6, 7. The amendment is carried. The amendment now becomes the motion. Show of hands for the motion. Unanimous. Thank you. Item 2C, to donate $2,500 to Mr. Perfect Incorporated to contribute to hosting free monthly barbecues for supporting men's mental health.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to move that.
Vote for Councillor Mallard to.
I'd like to move that we donate $1,000 to the Mr. Perfect Incorporated. If I can have a second.
Seconded by Councillor.
Look, I have no.
Seconded by Councillor Kinghorn. Sorry.
Thank you.
Councillor.
Look, I have no objections to the intent of the work that Mr. Perfect does. I think it's absolutely important that we support men in mental health in any way we can. Getting men to talk and open up, I think, is definitely important. I do have a question regarding the justification for the $2,500. Now, when we look back at the organisation as a whole, because I note that the applicant is the CEO, last financial year they spent $68,000 on contractors. The year before that they spent $13,000. I just think in light of such a significant, and prior to that it was 12. Again, I don't have a problem with the organisation and what they do. It's very important, but I think they need to have a hard look at why they've, quadrupled their fees for contractors when really all they're doing is providing community barbecues and support in that regard. I think the organisation itself needs to review things.
Thanks, Councillor. Any further speakers? Councillor Greenhalgh?
I'm going to speak against the amendment. I think $2,500 over a 12-month period is very minimal. How do we put a cost on someone's mental health and well-being and their life? For some of these people, it's the only interaction they get. And yeah, I just think, $2,500 is a drop in the ocean to support such a good cause.
Thanks, Councillor. Any further speakers? There being none, I'll put the
Me.
amendment.
Sorry.
Councillor Kinghorn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think that these guys do a really good job, and I've actually got no problem with the organisation or the barbecues. Again, it's just the fact that if there are so many good causes that if we do this for the full amount, then we won't have the money for other things. So that's my rationale for this. Thank you.
Totally agree. So we've got an amendment and we've got a seconder, so we need to put the amendment first. We have no, sorry, my apologies. So we put the motion, a show of hands for.
So the motion is $2,500.
No, the motion is $1,000.
The motion is 1,000. Councillor Peterson, what are you doing?
Getting my hand up as high as I could for the
Sorry, I
1,000.
couldn't see it there. You're just in the black of the window behind you. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the motion is us and against. 3 against. So it was not. We're missing somebody. Councillor Whitten. Apologies. So it's 8 for, 3 against. Councillors, next item is 2.D. There are no conflicts. That's to donate $2,500 to Orange High School to contribute to travel accommodation for cost of students participating in First Nations Dance Assembly. A mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor McDonald, seconded by Councillor Ruddy. Any discussion? Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Mayor. Look, I think this is a really, these dancers have an amazing opportunity here, and I think it's well done to them for reaching this level in such a incredibly challenging artistic certainly not a dancer. But I think it's really fantastic that we can support students, particularly Indigenous students, to this creativity, this incredibly important cultural experience. So more than happy to support it.
Thank you. Any further speakers? Councillor Kinghorn.
Oh, just me again. I would like to move an amendment that we support this to the amount of $1,250 for the same reasons as previously.
Thank you. You have a seconder in Councillor Roddy. We've got an amendment. Any further discussions regarding the amendment?
I'll speak to it really quickly. I completely mirror what Councillor McDonald was saying. This is an incredible opportunity and it's really important, and I recognise that. But like, again, what Councillor Kinghorn's talked about, we're quite stretched this round, and I am concerned about blowing out the budget way too soon. I do note that they mentioned in there they've requested sponsorship from Verto and OHMS and Lauk. So hopefully those guys come to the party on this one and it helps get those kids off where they need to go.
Thank you. I'm going to speak against the amendment. As I've consistently said, I do not believe it's the responsibility of Orange City Council to fund Department of Education initiatives. They receive a budget to cover this type of thing, and all schools or most schools also have P&C meetings. So my other concern is that this will create a precedent and we'll have an influx of applications for similar events which should be funded by the Department of Education. So I'll be speaking against the item in its entirety. Thank you. So I'll put the amendment. Show of hands for the amendment. That's to give $1,250. I've got two. Hands up higher, please. I've got two online.
Can we have a run again?
On that?
Run again.
So we're putting the amendment up first. The amendment is for $1,250. That was moved by Councillor Kinghorn, seconded by Councillor Ruddy from memory. Okay, so I have two online. Who else is supporting the amendment? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so the amendment now becomes a motion. Show of hands. Actually, I won't vote for it, so I'm against it. So, say again, Councillor?
Oh, it was the rest of us, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you. Councillor Peterson, are you against the...
I am when it comes to it, with the logic being what you said earlier.
Thank you very much, Councillor. You against? Okay, we go to item 2E to donate $2,500 to the Rotary Club Orange to contribute to the cost of hiring presenters, presentation, equipment, marketing and promotion and hire of the Showground Nayland Pavilion for Orange Sustainable Living Expo. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Ruddy, seconded by Councillor Mallard. Any discussion? Councillor Mallard.
I'll just say...
Don't ruin it, Councillor.
Sorry, and noting, sorry, I should have jumped in beforehand, and just reminder that I did declare a less than a non-significant non-pecuniary interest, but I have attended the Sustainable Living Expo a number of times. It's always a good event. The range of opportunities for people to learn while they're there is always excellent. Yeah, hopefully we'll see, and it always does get well attended as well. So hopefully we'll see it successful again this year, and happy to support it.
Thank you. Any further speakers? There being none, I'll put the motion. Show of hands for. Unanimous. Item 2F to donate $306 to Orange Car Club to contribute to the cost of running of Mini Karting Academy to train young drivers in the sport. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Duffy, seconded by Councillor Greenhouse. Any discussion? There being none, I'll put the motion. Show of hands for. Councillor Kinghorn, what are you doing?
Sorry.
No, thank you. Unanimous. Item 2G, to donate $2,500 to the Philip Shaw Wines to contribute to the cost of running the Breast Long Lunch in support of the McGrath Foundation Breast Care Nurses. Moving to seconder. Moved by Councillor Power, seconded by Councillor Duffy. Any discussion? Councillor Greenhalgh.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would just like to thank Ash for her brave, passionate and raw speech tonight. There's not one person in this room that cancer probably hasn't touched. And I think for our community to be coming together to try and grow an event to make sure that no one walks their cancer journey alone, $2,500 is the least we can do. So I fully support your motion and thank you for speaking tonight.
Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Mayor. Look, I'm more than happy to support this. I do have one question, I suppose, and this goes to other events that fundraising events, say for Cancer Council and things like that. Do we have, when we say we, it's a collective we, have any say in whether that money that's raised stays locally for local breast care, or does it go to the organisation? It's not going to affect my. It's just a question. Do we know that?
Through you, Mr. Mayor, the donation is given to the applicant, and in this case, the applicant is Philip Shaw Wines for the Breast Long Lunch.
Okay, that's fine. Look, I'm more than happy to support this. Some people here are aware that I have experience not with cancer, but certainly I carry the cancer gene. And as a nurse, I've also worked with sufferers of breast cancer. My mother had breast cancer. My aunts had breast cancer. I definitely think this is an incredibly invaluable support for women. And I thank you so much for putting this on. And as Councillor Greenhalgh said, your passion for this. Once upon a time, this was a topic that we didn't talk about, much like mental health and domestic violence. And I'm really glad that this is something that is now out in the open and we are talking more about it. And I think it's just a fantastic thing to be doing, and I'm more than happy to support it. And thank you so much. And I do hope this becomes a regular thing for us. Thank you.
Well said. Any other speakers? Councillor Wright.
Can I just ask a question through you? I just want to clarify, is this a donation or sponsorship?
My understanding is a donation, but I'll seek clarification from Director Sharp.
Sponsorship, so I just got a bit.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, I've processed the application as a donation, although the paperwork was a standard paperwork for sponsorship. So as it goes through the donations application, we took it as a donation. If the council wished to change that and ask for it to be processed as a sponsorship, of course I would do that on your recommendation.
Okay, thank you.
Councillors, any further discussion? Councillor Ruddy?
No, it's okay.
Thank you. Any further discussion, councillors? There being none, I will put the motion and show of hands for. Unanimous, thank you. Can we bring Councillor Kinghorn back into the room, please? Welcome back, Councillor.
Thank you.
Item 2H, to donate $2,000 to Algeri singers to contribute to the cost of soloists to perform alongside local musicians. Mover and a seconder.
I'm happy to move, and it's Allegri.
What is it?
Allegri.
Isn't that what I said?
No, you said Algeri.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
It's all good. Sorry. You know me and names and spelling and...
European coming out of me. Got a mover? Do you have a seconder? Councillor Steadman. Any discussion, councillors? Councillor Kinghorn.
Yes, thank you. I would just like to move an amendment that we donate $1,000 to Allegri singers rather than $2,000 for the same reasons as previously.
Happy to second that.
Seconded by Councillor Ruddy. Any further discussion, councillors? Councillors, we have an amendment. We're going to vote on the amendment first to give that organisation $1,000. A show of hands, please. So that's 9-4. Show of hands against, 2. 9-2. The amendment now becomes a motion. Show of hands for the motion. Unanimous. Thank you, councillors. M2 in brackets I to donate $2,025 to Canobolas Public School Parents and Citizens Association to contribute to the gifting of books to each student at the end of the year presentation day. Have a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Powell, seconded by Councillor Greenouch. Any discussion? Councillor Ruddy.
Because we're in the spirit of it, I would like to move an amendment that we donate half. I do understand that it's a really great cause for those kids. But yeah, I think half would be reasonable. So $1,000 and $12.50.
Any further speakers?
I just want to round it
Councillor Kinghorn.
Yeah.
I'm just happy to second that if it needs seconding.
Okay, we've got a seconder. Any speakers? Councillor Greenouch.
Yeah, I'd just like to speak against the amendment. I note in previous years we have had an allowance for particularly schools and end-of-year awards, and I think the fact that this school only has 135 children and has a limited capacity for fundraising, we are in a position that we could give a book. I know I still have books that I won as awards as a child, and I just think it's a great idea to try and keep kids off screens and to be able to walk away, each one of those kids, with a book that so much careful thought and consideration has gone into by their teachers to make it relevant to them personally is a wonderful idea, and I'm happy to support it.
I might just ask Director Sharp to come to the lectern. I just want to comment because I'm aware that this school asked for a donation for something else recently, and that was on the back of a fundraiser which the school done, which raised a considerable amount of money. Are you aware of what I'm talking about?
Mr Mayor, I believe I'm aware of what you're talking about, and we did have discussions with the P&C regarding that. It didn't meet the policy as it was to do with infrastructure, which is specifically declined in the policy. This application is also separate to this section of the policy that Councillor Greenhalgh is referring to. They would still be eligible to apply for that section of the policy, but it would need to be done by the school. This is an application by the P&C, so it's very much separate to the school, so it would be treated differently if the school were to make an application.
Are you suggesting it doesn't comply?
It does comply, Mr Mayor. The previous application did not comply, and therefore it didn't make it into the chamber. If the school were to apply, that would need to go to the section of the policy that Councillor Greenhalgh is talking to, which is an awards night. This is not an awards night application.
Thanks for the clarification. Any further discussion? I will speak again against it because, as I've said previously, I do not believe it's the responsibility of Orange City Council and the ratepayers of Orange to fund Department of Education initiatives. And my second point is that I'm concerned that doing so will create a precedent for all other schools to ask for the same thing as I've said previously, although each would be dealt with on its own merits. But I'm against it. Okay, so do we have an amendment for half that? Okay, so we'll...
Can I did say half, but let's just round it up to $1,015 instead of $12.
Very generous of you, Councillor. Well, I'll appreciate that if it gets up. So the amount now is how much?
1,015? Yeah, I just think 50 cents is a bit silly.
Okay, so I'll put the amendment first. A show of hands.
So just clarify, what is the amendment?
$1,015 is the amendment.
I wasn't aware. Who moved the original?
The amendment was moved by
sorry,
Councillor Ruddy, seconded by Councillor Kinghorn from memory.
But was it moved as a motion or was it as...
No, the original motion is 2025.
I know, but sorry, what I'm asking is, was it a motion that was put or was it an amendment?
Amendment. So the motion was originally put, but then there was an amendment came after it.
So what my question is, who was it put by? Can you remind me who?
Councillor Powell and Councillor Greenhalgh.
Okay. Okay, sorry. Thank you. Just for clarity and process. All good.
Okay, so we're putting, it's okay. We're putting the amendment first. So can I show of hands for the amendment? 3, 5. 5 for the amendment. So the amendment, show of hands against the amendment. It's 2, 4, 6. So the amendment is lost. So we now go with the motion. Okay, show of hands for the motion. So we've got 6. A show of hands, 6-4 against. 3, 4, 5. So the motion is passed, 6-5. Okay, councillors, the next one is number 2K to donate $2,500 to Orange Scouts Camp to contribute to transport of members.
Oops, sorry, you skipped one.
Did I? Oh, yes, I did
J.
too. My apologies. 2J to donate $2,000 to MCE Community Radio to contribute to replacing transmitter equipment at Mount Canobolas. I'm going to move her in seconder. Moved by Councillor Ruddy, seconded by Councillor Greenhalgh. Any discussion? There being none, I'll put the motion. Show of hands for. So, okay, that's 10 against. Councillor Kinghorn is against. Thank you. Is passed. Motion is passed. 2K to donate $2,500 to the Orange Scout Camp to contribute to transport for Orange members to attend the regional camp. And I think that Councillor Peterson, you staying in the room, Councillor?
Declared non-significant.
Thank you very much. Okay. Do I move from the seconder? Moved by Councillor Stedman. Do I have seconded by Councillor Greenhalgh. Any discussion? Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Mayor. Probably a question through you to probably the director, I'm assuming. Just regarding on their application, so page 54, when they're saying costs, so that cost for a 22-seater bus from Orange Hertz, a 22-seater bus from Dubbo Hertz, as well as train and bus return. Are they intending on using all three? Or it just seems like, considering they were talking about, hang on, let me find how many people this was. 40, yeah. So are they, I'm just trying to understand, are they getting a bus from Dubbo and a bus from Orange, or a bus from, I'm just trying to understand that.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, that level of detail wasn't provided.
Right, okay.
Councillor Ruddy.
Can we get more detail? It does mention also that they've got $10,000 from Broken Hill, which is fantastic. But I'm a little bit like Councillor McDonald, unsure what they're doing and what they need the money for.
Councillor, you are moving to defer this matter till next meeting to get further information?
Yes, to get some more information.
Have a seconder, seconded by Councillor McDonald. So we've got a amendment to defer the matter. Show of hands for. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. May I ask for a clarification? The event is being dated the 27th of the 9th. If this were to be deferred until the next Finance Committee meeting, which is on the 7th of October, the application would then be outside policy, being outside the date of the event. With that, would you prefer, or would Council prefer to bring this back at the next meeting, which would be outside of the committee, or would you prefer to deal with it in another way?
I've got a mover, Councillor Ruddy. What are you asking for?
I think to give them a fair go, probably we bring it back, because otherwise I can't vote for it. So,
okay, I just needed the clarification.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you. Okay, show of hands for a deferment.
Sorry, can I get the clarification? Which meeting is it being brought back to now?
Next council meeting is my understanding.
The Policy Committee.
Thank you. Okay, so a show of hands to defer to next council meeting. Unanimous. Thank you. Councillors, that concludes the Finance Policy Committee meeting with the time being...
No.
2.2.
2.2.
2.2. It's 2.2.
Development funding.
Okay. We've now been provided 2.2 councillors, and that's our event development funding. The council support the Australian National Field Days with $10,000 for the Rooftop Express area event. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Power, seconded by Councillor Mallard. Is there any discussions? Yes, Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Through you to the Director, same question we ask every year. Have they applied to Cabonne? I know there are a lot of people from Orange, and there's always the argument that this benefits Orange more than any other area in the region, but even their report says that there is significant impact, positive economic impact to non-Orange areas and economy. So I'm just wondering, are you aware, has the question been asked, have they approached Cabonne for money?
Through you, Mr Mayor, my knowledge is that they have not received any money from Cabonne, but I'm unaware of whether they have formally asked. I know that, as we discussed in last year's meeting, Cabonne has a very different process. So I would ascertain, although I haven't clarified again this year, that they would be outside of the cycle for that, so they wouldn't have been able to thus far. But I would have to clarify that. If you wanted me to take that on notice, I would.
I just want to speak for the motions.
Just before you do, have you finished, Councillor McDonald?
Yeah, this comes up every year, and I think it's important that we know that, it's not going to really affect how I vote on it, but I think it's important information to have, particularly when their own analysis that they supply shows that it does actually positively benefit the Cabonne region as well. I think it's important that we know. Going forward, Cabonne is actually supporting them, because I think it's important that they do.
Thanks. Councillor Duffy.
Yes, thank you, Mr Mayor. I want to speak for the resolution. As years gone by, councillors normally had a welcome to the exhibitors in Orange downstairs in the foyer. And that's welcoming the exhibitors that come from all across the state and various different areas. And the economic impact on Orange is very good, and it also does have an economic impact not only on Cabonne but also Cowra. There's exhibitors come from anywhere and everywhere, so it's a positive step, and it's something that's been here for well over 50, 70 years at least in the area. So it's a boost to our economy, which is good news.
Thanks, Councillor. Yeah, Councillor Power.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'm going to speak for the motion. I think, and I'm aware every year that this here comes up, there is some concerns, but even with the Orange 360, which is the agreement between Cabonne, Laney and also Orange, looking at the amount of people that do come into this region, this will be benefit. We've got quite a large stakeholder funds towards Orange 360, with the accommodation and everything else too, and the amount of people that it does attract, that we get that data, and it's just amazing what actually does happen here. So I definitely 100% support this in relation to what it achieves. All of our facilities around Orange, our wine bars, our wineries, our accommodation, as whatever year, Mr Mayor, it's always packed out. So this is a positive thing again, as it is every year. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor Greenhalgh.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Yeah, I'm going to support the motion. Orange has become quite renowned for the International Field Days, And, you know, it's similar to Gunnedah with AgQuip. So I think anything we can do to support them to ensure this event continues to take place is great. And the economic benefits speak for themselves. So I'm happy to support the motion.
Thanks, Councillor. Any further speakers? There being none, I'll put the motion and show of hands for. Unanimous.
I just have one very quick matter arising, Chair.
Yes, Councillor.
With 2.1 to donate $2,500 to the Philip Shaw Wines Long Lunch. In their documents, that would include a couple of complimentary tickets. I'd like to suggest that they be raffled off amongst council staff, just automatically and given to 2 of our staff. Thanks.
Thanks, Councillor. I don't think we can do that, can we?
No, because we're donating, not sponsoring.
I think we need to clarify.
The director would like to
clarify with the director.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, as it was asked during the debate, we're providing this as a donation rather than a sponsorship, unless it was passed otherwise. So in which case, my understanding and reading of the document is we would not be eligible for the free tickets nor promotional at the time.
That's what I thought. Thank you for clarification. Sorry, staff. Thank you, Council. That concludes the Finance Policy Committee meeting, with the time being 7:45 p.m. I now conduct the Infrastructure Policy Committee meeting in the absence of Councillor Whitten. Is that?
Go back to planning now. Yep.
Okay.
Actually,
we're out of whack. Get rid of that one. Okay, so I have Planning and Development chaired by Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Planning and Development Committee meeting for the 2nd of September 2025 with the time being 7:46. I like that we've changed it from the 24-hour clock because that made my brain work too hard. Item 1.1, declarations of interest. I note we've got Councillor Kinghorn declared an interest in 2.3. Is there any other declarations that we've missed? Alrighty. Item 2.1, items approved under delegated authority of Council. The motion is on page 5. I have a mover and a seconder, please. Thank you, Councillor Power and Councillor Ruddy. Any discussion? All right, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, raise a hand. Excellent, unanimous. Okay, item 2.2, development application DA 246/2025 in brackets 149 Hill Street. Recommendation is on page 13. Moved by Councillor Mallard, seconded by, I'll second it. Any discussion? Councillor Ruddy.
Just a quick question, and this may be in the report, and I did try to find it, but I couldn't, but that doesn't mean I didn't miss it. I noticed that when, with the new court, it like almost touches the cricket pitch. Is the cricket pitch being moved, or like do we just have a cricket pitch?
I will hand that through to Mr. Johnson if he's happy to answer.
Through to Madam Chair. Thank you for the question. Council resolved back in 2004 to approve the expansion of the Croquet Club for the purposes of the future construction of the Croquet Green. So they've made that decision. In the report, it actually elaborates out that I guess having the Croquet Club will impact upon the ability to, on the cricket pitch, there's a concrete cricket wicket there. We consulted with Ben Keegan from Council's Sport and Rec team within the council, and he advised that they've been working closely with the Junior Cricket Association. They haven't used that particular cricket wicket for competition for some 10 years. Mm-hmm. And so I think all of those decisions have been made, and the knowing and know-how that I guess that particular cricket wicket wouldn't be used for that purpose anymore. So as a result of the decision to leave the Croquet Club.
So, like it's used recreationally by people in the area, but because it's not used by a club, it doesn't matter.
Well, certainly not used for, I guess, competition, because it doesn't. I guess you could be sort of bowled from one end and potentially still use the cricket wicket, but it's unlikely that it'd be probably used for that purpose anymore.
Okay.
Sorry, Acting Director, while you're there, that was something that was already approved.
2004 in July, I understand that it was under the previous council. They made the decision to actually grant the lease to expand the croquet club. And
this is already
pre-existing
following that decision,
approval. There's now been the development application that's now followed, and that's where we sit with it. So we've made that decision based on that previous decision of the former council. We brought this report before council to out of transparency, so this council's aware of the decision the previous council made.
Sure. Thank you. Councillor Ruddy, does that answer your question? Excellent.
Yeah, it's fine. Thank you.
Questions or discussions? Councillor Mallard.
Thanks, Chair. Happy to support it. Great for the croquet club to be going so well and creating more opportunity to grow their membership and give people, particularly older people, the chance to participate in the activity. I do note, page 12 of the report that it had noted that the park area isn't really being used by sporting groups. I think I'm interested looking at I agree with what the acting director just said, that the pitch could still be used for people to muck around on, but the fact is you've got a fair bit of open parkland there that I'd be interested to see if we can consider some increased vegetation and some rewilding of part of that western area of the parkland as well. We need to look for those spaces where we can start building up some urban canopy. I think we've got a lot of good cricket facilities, as well as places for people to have a little bit of a social knockabout if they want to as well. So I think this is a really good mix, but I'd be interested in what else we can do with parts of that underutilised park area as well as other parks in town.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Online, councillors, any discussion on this item? Councillor Kinghorn? No? There's just a little delay. Give you a couple of seconds. Excellent. Alrighty. In that case, I'll put the motion. All those in favour, raise a hand. And it's unanimous. Thank you. So 2.3, Councillor Kinghorn, if you can duck out, that would be fantastic. We've got item 2.3 is development application DA 187/2025 in brackets 18 Whistling Way. Say that 5 times fast. We have a recommendation on page 55. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Councillor Ruddy, seconded by Councillor Mallard. Any discussion on this item? Alrighty. In that case, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Unanimous. Councillor Kinghorn can rejoin us. Alrighty, item 2.4. Planning proposal, housekeeping amendment, supplementary matter, animal boarding or training establishments. Recommendation is on page 178. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Mallard, seconded by Councillor Ruddy. Discussion on this. All right, I'll put the motion. All those in favour? Raise a hand. Unanimous. Thank you, councillors.
Just as a matter of rising, Chair, I just wonder if the director could give us a bit of a quick update on the Gibrola solar farms, and a quick update on the travel arrangements or what's actually happening on Mount Canobolas as regards to the wind turbines there, and which way the turbines are expected to travel, and where is that project up to?
I'll hand that over to the acting director, but I believe it was a feasibility study to begin with on Mount Canobolas, but I'm happy for the acting director to take that on board.
Turbines I'll need to take on notice. I don't have any knowledge about answering that question this evening. With respect to your other inquiry, we have 2 applications in for solar farms at the moment. One's at the top of the Spring Creek Reservoir in Lone Pine Avenue. We're working with the applicant at the moment on some visual impact issues there. We have 2 neighbouring properties. We have a number of submissions, but there's 2 neighbouring properties in particular there that are that overlook that particular area. One's a heritage item, and it is within only 100 metres from the headwaters of the water supply. So there's some concerns around that proposal. The other proposal is along Cadia Road, and we're getting very close to actually finalising a planning assessment on that application. Again, there was about 3 or 4 submissions received in relation to that matter. It's a matter that goes before the Joint Regional Planning Panel, and we have got a scheduled date, I think, towards the end of September for that particular decision to be made. Planning report still needs to be finalised, and last minute advice back from Department of Agriculture and the like on that one.
Councillor, question?
Just have a question.
Yes, I had one matter arising, if that was to myself. And that was if I could get an update in the development application DA 218/2015-5 for lot 218 Hawk Lane. That was one that was deferred from the council meeting on the 1st of April for a site inspection, and then deferred again on the 1st of July.
We might take that in closed.
Very well.
While you're there, Acting Director, the Mayor has a question for you as well.
Yeah, I'm just inquiring as to whether Orange City Council will be making a submission to the Western Regional Planning Panel with regarding both of those solar farms at end of Lone Pine Avenue and out off Berrily Road there. I think it is at Kinellis.
Consistent with our general approach to matters that go before the Joint Regional Planning Panel is that we do prepare once we've prepared the report, is that we try to align it with a council meeting such that the councillors get an opportunity to understand the recommendations and the content of the report and determine whether they wish to make a submission to the panel, either support or not in support of the proposal. That's the normal process. The only impediment to that is if the Joint Regional Planning Panel set a date for the actual hearing and there's insufficient time to facilitate the report to the council. But in that regard, we'd need to work out an alternate way of advising the council about that project, that's all. So but at this stage, I anticipate that we'd have a report to the council before it's actually tabled before the actual council, before the actual Joint Regional Planning Panel.
Do we have a timeline when that will occur?
I'll take that one on notice. We do have a revised date for the job on Cadia Road.
Which is?
Sorry?
Which is when? What's the revised date?
Oh, I have to check my records downstairs. That has been negotiated this week. I'll let you know. But the one in relation to the top of in Lone Pine Avenue, there's still some significant issues that need to be resolved. It's with the applicant at the moment to resolve some visual impact issues and some impact issues on the headwaters of the water supply there. So it's more, I guess it's got a whole lot more issues to be sorted out with it before that one would be before council, so, for information purposes.
Thank you.
Alrighty, thanks, councillors. I'm going to close the Planning and Development Committee meeting with the time being 7:57 and call on Councillor Mallard to conduct the Environmental Sustainability Policy Committee meeting.
Thanks, Councillor McDonnell. I'll open the Environmental Sustainability Policy Committee meeting on the 2nd of September 2025 with the time being 7:58 p.m. Item 1.2, declarations of interest. I didn't hear any before. If no one has anything to declare now, we'll move to item 2.1. Minutes of the Tidy Towns Community Committee meeting, 18th of June 2025. The recommendation on page 5. Do I have a mover? Sorry, hang on, just before I We have a note that recommendation 2 has been included in error. That was resolved at the Environmental Sustainability Policy Committee meeting 3rd of June and discussed at the Tidy Towns Community Committee meeting 16th of April. So can I have a mover just for items 1 and 3, which will become 2 of the recommendation? Thanks, Councillor McDonald and Councillor Power. Okay, is there any discussion on this item? Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Chair. Look, I think this is great, and what's really exciting is all the nominations for awards this year. Particularly, Zestfest, the lake with all the work that was done out there, and our Rainbow Festival. So I think, among others, so I think that's really fantastic, and I congratulate the staff for their fantastic work with that. And I thoroughly enjoyed Councillor Ruddy's social media updates on her personal tour with the Tidy Towns Committee. So thank you.
Thanks, Councillor McDonald. Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor Mallard. Yes, I would just like to echo those words as well. And as councillors be aware, we had the pleasure of welcoming Doug from Keep Australia Beautiful to Orange last Tuesday to assess our entries in this year's Tidy Town Awards. And for those councillors who may not be aware, council staff and Councillor Ruddy met with Doug to discuss those various entries before visiting several of those projects around Orange. And from what I understand, he was very impressed. And as Councillor McDonald indicated, Orange is in the running for several different categories, and that includes the waste avoidance, which is run through the reusable cup initiative at Zestfest. We also have an entry in the Livable Towns with the revitalisation of Lake Canobolas to make it more inclusive, accessible and multifunctional destination for our community, especially people with disabilities. Also biodiversity conservation with the Youth Action Council tree planting activity during Youth Week to plant over 200 endangered trees in Pinnacle Reserve. That'd be something you'd be all over, Councillor. And the community spirit and inclusion that celebrated through the Rainbow Festival. Climate change mitigation and adaptation led by the Electrify Orange initiative. And we're also in the running for the Big Gong, the major prize for the overall Tidy Town for 2025. I guess, as a council, this is more about just recognition about what we stand for, but it also reflects our values and what drives our community moving forward. So, I'd like to think that we're innovative, inclusive, and committed to protecting the environment for our future generations. So well done to all involved.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Other speakers, Councillor Ruddy.
Yeah, I just want to really quickly thank and acknowledge Andy Cole, council staff Andy Cole and Eli Todman for their incredible work and effort in putting the applications together. They worked really hard on those, and that shows in being finalists for so many amazing categories. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Speakers? Being none, I'll put the motion. All in favour? Against? Carried. Okay, we move to item 2.2, minutes of the Environmental Sustainability Community Committee meeting of the 1st of August. There's a recommendation on page 41. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Thanks, Councillor Greenhalgh and Councillor Power. Is there any discussion on this item?
I just had one very quick question about what are the implications, particularly any financial implications of Orange Council participating in the National Water Week. There's one sentence on page 44 which talks about some more education and reporting on water use. So I wanted to know if it was just sort of social media output or if there was any other, cost to council for participation.
If any of the staff have a correct answer on that, my thinking would be it'll be comms.
Take it on notice.
Yeah. Take it on notice. Thanks. All right, any other discussion? There being none, I'll put the motion. All in favour? Anyone against? Carried. Okay, thank you, councillors. That concludes the environmental.
Yeah, I got a question. The policy on, there's nowhere else I can ask the question. The policy on Cook Park as regards to the strategy for Cook Park, the management, the plan of management for it, it's supposed to come back to council with a report as to what was going to happen as regards to the bird aviary and all those type of things there. And I'm wondering, it's not back to us yet. I'm wondering if we could, and the CEO would include the meeting procedures, what happened at the previous meeting in the report as well. Okay. Seems to have disappeared.
Okay. Thanks, councillors. That concludes the Environmental Sustainability Policy Committee meeting with the time being 8:04 p.m. I will, no, we're not doing finance now. So whichever is after finance, infrastructure, which is the mayor again.
Thanks, Councillor Mallard. I'll stay where I am. I'll stay here because there's somebody after me. And I'll be chairing the Infrastructure Policy Committee on behalf of Councillor Whitten, who is unable to be with us here tonight. Time being 8:05 p.m, I will open the meeting. Do we have any declaration of interest? I don't think we did. Okay, so we'll go to item number 2.1, minutes of the City of Orange Traffic Committee meeting, which is held on the 12th of August 2025. There's a recommendation on page 5, councillors. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor O'Reilly, seconded by Councillor Power. Any discussion? Councillor Kinghorn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to on page 5, where recommendation number 2, the bit that says addition to membership and roles, I just think we need to remove one of the words in that. So it says mandatory to invite the operator of a public passenger service operators. I think you just need to have the first one. I don't think that second word operators needs to be in there, because then the sentence doesn't make sense. So that it now says mandatory to invite the operator of a public passenger service likely to be affected by a proposal to any meeting where that proposal is being reviewed.
Yes, we'll do that. Thank you.
Thanks.
Councillor Peterson.
Yeah, I had just a question on 2.1, the recommendation that there is no voting. How does the local transport forum make decisions without voting?
Thank you, Director Greenham.
I'll give a very brief answer at the moment, but I will hold off that there is a briefing coming up towards the end of September on the Transport Forum, and it reflects the changes or proposed changes in the new Roads Act as well. So the local Transport Forum will not vote on issues. The membership will be able to advise of any I suppose, issues that they have with the actual proposals. So it gives the new Roads Act will give council more powers under that. So particularly for community events, but we'll brief council in full towards the end of September. But there is no voting as such, but they can issue their contention with any of the matters that are before the Transport Forum. Council has to consider those contentions.
Thanks, Director. Does that satisfy you, Councillor? Thank you. Any further discussion? Put the motion, show of hands for. Unanimous. Section 3, councillors. 3.1, current works. There's a recommendation on page 51. Do I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Greenhalgh, seconded by Councillor McDonnell. Any discussion? Councillor Greenhalgh.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, just want to thank council staff for the tours that we had last Friday of the Planetarium, Conservatorium, the roadworks, and also the sports precinct. It was very informative, and yeah, just wanted to thank them for all the work that they've been doing to bring things to fruition. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Kinghorn, you had your hand up.
I did, yes, thank you. A couple of things. Page 54, the construction works. The second point, the renewal of the Maxwell Avenue are continuing with boring works. I'm just wondering, the Maxwell Avenue, what are we renewing there? That's just a word missing, I think. And I was also on page 55 in relation to the water storage. I was just curious that I know it's going up, which is nice. What's our optimal level? Is it always to be 100? Is there ever any sort of flood mitigation use for Summer Park or any of our dams? Because I just see that, like, the Macquarie pipeline we don't really use, even though we can. So, yeah, I was just curious about the role of the dams.
Just to answer your first question, I'll ask the director to respond. I'm assuming you're talking about the pipe.
Water main renewal in Maxwell Avenue. Yes.
That's a word that's missing. Water main renewal.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think it should say what it is. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah, and then just thank you. And then just curiosity about the water storage.
So the storage
Like,
is. Thank you, Councillor, for the question. And through the Mayor, the both licensed water storages, being Spring Creek Dam and Summer Park Dam, are licensed for water storage for town use, not for flood mitigation purposes.
Okay.
As such.
So our goal is to have them full all the time.
Yeah, is to have it, well, certainly between 90 and 100% would be ideal. That means that there's less restrictions on our users. So anything, I think, and based on that, you said we don't use the Macquarie pipeline very much. We're actually, one of the conditions of using the Macquarie pipeline is we need to be below 90% storage to use it. And then
which we have been this year, below 90. So we haven't done that. Is that a cost thing? Because it's not cheap, is it, to pump water through there?
Thank you for the supplementary question. And through the Mayor, what I was going to say was we also have a decision support tool that looks at the forecast going forward for the year and whether we actually operate those facilities. So there is the Macquarie pipeline is our most expensive water because it has to be pumped from the Macquarie River at some 600 metres lower than Orange to Orange. And then, so with a fairly normal year forecast ahead of us, the decision support tool, and we were only just under the 90%. I think we dipped as low as about 85% during this last period. And we could forecast that it was going to rise again. So we chose not to operate the Macquarie pipeline at that time.
Okay, just curious. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Yes, Councillor Mallard.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, a couple of questions. The first one through you and quite possibly to the director. Page 53, there's mention of in the footpath works, the Sterling Avenue curb ramp. I was speaking to someone who lives in the area and they were saying it's great and you're basically now providing good connection for parents with prams or people with mobility issues to get across, and you've got on one side of the road there the playground, and then you're also connecting through to Ploughman's Wetlands on the other side. They did wonder, and I was interested in, has there been any consideration about, in terms of people crossing that road, any form of whether it's of assistance for crossing, like whether it's, have we looked at a pedestrian crossing or any kind of traffic calming infrastructure there to help people who are using that road as pedestrians to get across safely?
Thank you, and I'll take that on notice.
Thank you very much. Councillor Duffy. Oh, sorry.
No, sorry, I've got one more. Just let me, on page 56, the table on supplementary raw water sources, just noting, so we've got May, June, July monthly figures there, and then the total that's given is for the 2025-26 year. So we've got the new financial year there. It'd be good if we could get annual totals for 2024, 2025, and I'm noting it could be happy if this is just taken on notice and comes back in the next or even isn't taken on notice, but just comes in the next month's report, because we'll still have June 2025 in the table there, if we can then get the end of year for 2024-25, if that makes sense. We get the total for the year.
I'll take it on notice, but I suspect it was in last month's report.
Thanks. Sorry, I didn't get back to check that. So,
Councillor Duffy.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. My question is basically a matter arising as regards to Woodward Street. And I've been contacted by the local residents and a number of people who travel through that way. And I know it's not our responsibility to put boom gates on the railway crossing. I'm just wondering if we could write to UGL, I think they're the current ones on it, to get a date when they can put it up. Because I do notice that on Emery Road, they're putting up boom gates at crossings that have only got a cat, dog, and a fox and two cars going across them. So I think Woodward Street's probably far more important than some of those other railway crossings. I'm just wondering where we're at with it. Do that.
I'll provide further details to Council, but we have already written to UGL and they have already promoted the crossing with Transport for New South Wales, so it comes under their consideration for funding.
Do we have a date when they're going to give us an answer?
And provide a date.
I'll take that on notice.
I think there's no harm in us asking them.
Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Mayor. Through you, well, the director's there. Just while Councillor Duffy mentioned Woodward Road, Woodward Street, Woodward Road. I remember Mr. Theakston mentioning that there is intention, the Racecourse Road, Woodward Road intersection there is a plan to upgrade that intersection. I'm just wondering where is that sort of sitting at, because that intersection, obviously with all the wet weather as well, is quite goat tracky and needs an upgrade anyway. So just wondering where we're at with that one.
I'll take that one on notice as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions?
I do have a couple more. Sorry, I forgot to ask these.
That's okay.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Thank you. So page 58, this is in relation to the Eucarina Road Resource Recovery Centre. It says that a proactive lessons learnt session has been held between the contractor and the project management team. What did we learn?
I'll take that on notice as well, provide that to Council separately.
Okay. All right, and then on page 60, we've got the, sorry, get on the right page, the Security of Payment Act claim was lodged in relation to the Southern Feeder Road Stage 4. So they claimed like $5,200,000 and the adjudicated amount 683. So I'm just trying to understand what that actually means. Does that mean that they think we didn't pay them enough by $5,200,000 and the adjudicator said, yes, you didn't pay them enough by $683,000? So how does that impact on what we budgeted? Does that mean we've gone over by that much, or is that in the contingency?
I prefer to respond to that in close, but I can't talk for Mars on what they were thinking when they put the claim in.
Okay. All right, closed is fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion, councillors? There being none, I'll put the motion. Show of hands. Unanimous. Thank you, councillors. That concludes the Infrastructure Policy Committee meeting, with the time being 8:17 p.m. With no items for Recreation and Culture Policy Committee, I'll call on Councillor Ruddy to do the services policy. Are we going to in order?
I would like to open the Services Policy Committee meeting on the 2nd of September 2025, with the time being 8:18. Do we have any declarations of interest? No. Section 2, we've got item 2.1, minutes of the NAIDOC Week Committee meeting, 24th of July 2025. There is a recommendation on page 5. Can I have a mover? Councillor Power, seconded by Councillor McDonald. Is there any discussion on this item? Yes, Councillor Power.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd just like to acknowledge the work of the staff and also the committee. As we're aware that to re-establish the NAIDOC subcommittee council, and we finally back on deck again due to just that late start, and it's really good to see all of the events to be filled. We've got 9 exciting days ready and rock and roll, and I appreciate all those councillors that put their hard work in there too. But yeah, just amazing to see it all coming together, and looking forward to that event. As it is, it's was a great 9 days of celebrating culture, celebrating us as a community coming together in unity. And yeah, I can't say thank you enough to all of the services, from all of the services, all the volunteers, the elders in our community to come together and really put their shoulders behind this event that we've been running for close to 25 years now. So really excited about it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor. Anybody else? Any further discussion? I will put the motion. All for? Unanimous. Item 2.2, minutes of the Family and Domestic Violence Community Committee meeting from the 29th of July 2025. There is a recommendation on page 39. Can I have a mover?
Happy to move.
Councillor McDonald, and second by Councillor Mallard. Is there any discussion on this one? No. In that case, I will put the motion. All for? And it's unanimous. Thank you. Item 2.3, minutes of the Orange Health Liaison Community Committee meeting from the 30th of July 2025. There is a recommendation on page 59. Can I have someone move that? Councillor McDonald, second by Councillor Duffy. Is there any discussion on this item? Thank you. I will put the motion. All for? It's unanimous. Thank you, councillors. Is there anything else? No. Thank you, councillors. That concludes the Services Policy Committee meeting, with the time being 8:21, and I call on the Mayor to conduct the Regional and Economic Development Policy Committee meeting.
Thank you, Councillor Roddy. To open the Regional and Economic Development Policy Committee meeting, the time being 8:21 p.m. Councillors, I don't think there's any conflicts of interest here. So we'll go to item number 2. Minutes of the Economic Development Committee meeting held on the 13th August 2025. There is a recommendation on page 5. I have a mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Greenhouse, second by Councillor Duffy. Discussion, councillors. Being none, I'll put the motion. Show of hands for. Unanimous. Thank you, councillors. That concludes the Regional and Economic Development Policy Committee meeting, with the time being 8:22 p.m. And I'll now resume the council meeting. Councillors, if we go to item number 4.1, notice of motion. ACON and Pride in Sport memberships. There's a recommendation on page 19. Councillor McDonald, would you like to move your motion?
I would love to, Mr. Mayor.
Seconder?
Happy to second.
Seconded by Councillor Mallard. Any discussion?
I'd love to speak to it, please.
Go ahead, Councillor.
Thank you. So the motion is that in the interest of providing safe spaces for every member of our community, Orange City Council becomes a member of at least one or both, preferably both, of the following organisations: ACON and Pride in Sport, which is Pride in Sport is an initiative of ACON, specifically targeted at making sure that sporting facilities, organisations, clubs, events are inclusive and safe for everybody. So this motion came out after what was presented to us last month, where there was sort of an attempt, I suppose, to consider restricting toilet and change room access to some patrons based on their gender and gender identity. Now, that move just sort of exposed a bit of a void in knowledge and support available to staff. This is not criticising staff, with real impacts on our community. At the time, I asked staff what justification existed for such a move, and part of the response I received was a photo of a document titled Bathroom Scenarios. I was told that these were real examples of events which Aquatic Centre staff have had and continue to have to manage. Now, while that draft policy has been deferred for a briefing and legal advice, deferral does nothing to address the root cause of how this came about in the first place, nor does it do anything to support staff to manage future issues which may arise, to ensure that the services and facilities we are providing our community with are safe and inclusive. As I said, this is not intended to attack or have a go at staff, but to address a demonstrated void in our proverbial toolkit. Now, we need to make sure that the services and facilities that Council provides to our community are safe and inclusive. Council and Council staff must have access to expert information, resources and support to make this possible. Membership to ACON and Pride in Sport will do just that. Pride in Sport is a pride inclusion program developed and run by ACON. It is Australia's only program specifically designed to assist organisations in the sport, recreation and physical activities industries, with the inclusion of LGBTQIA+ employees, players, coaches, volunteers and spectators, creating a safe and inclusive environment for everyone. I do want to sort of address the staff comment here where it says that Council is a member of the Diversity Council of Australia, which provides resources, training and advisory services specific for entities such as Council, and allows Council access to resources to help Council support services and facilities provided to the community. And with that, I would like to ask through you, Mr Mayor, to the Director a couple of questions.
Which Director?
Probably Director Maunder.
Yes, he's keen to go.
And possibly Director Sharp. So my first question is, how long has Council been a member of the Diversity Council of Australia? I did give him notice of these questions too, so.
Through you, Mr Chair. Thank you first, Councillor, for the questions on notice. It just helps us prepare. November 23 was when we first joined the DCA.
Yeah, excellent. Did staff seek information or support from the DCA prior to drafting and submitting the Aquatic Centre policy?
We didn't. We read the information that was available on there, and it provides a raft of documentations and guideline notes. It covered off on things such as discrimination and the goal about providing safe and inclusive spaces for people. The safe part and the inclusive part depends on some of the different scenarios that arise, because we have an obligation, as you well appreciate, and I know you do, to the broader community, as well as some of the people that we were talking about in that other policy document. And as you rightly say, we have a briefing on that coming up. So it was trying to find the balance between those two elements that guided some of the language in those policy suggestions, rather than seeking to exclude any person for any reason.
Okay, so, but you didn't, Council didn't as such reach out to the DCA for advice, support or resources specific to these issues?
They have a range of resources. So they have resources, they talk about words, they talk about inclusion of transgender and gender diverse employees, they talk about guidelines for trans and gender diverse inclusion in sport, etc. We also have our internal diversity and inclusion strategy. We have our diversity and inclusion committee, staff one. Some of that's around our organisation and how we provide and support our staff, as well as how we provide services. So we felt that there's not a specific section in there that deals with this specific subject matter. Your suggestion about obtaining some legal advice, we've done that and we'll bring that back to you in that briefing.
Okay, thank you, Director. So following on from that, so the Diversity Council's you can grab a seat. Purpose is to lead diversity inclusion in the workplace across all sectors of the economy. So as a workplace, I don't disagree. Council should absolutely be a member, but we can't rely solely on this one body to meet the needs of both the organisation and the community that we serve in 2025 and beyond. The Diversity Council has approximately 1,400 member organisations. Only 34 of these are councils. Across the country, less than 6% of councils are DCA members, which indicates that the DCA membership alone doesn't meet the complex needs of local governments. Again, DCA focuses on workplace inclusion only. And while council is a workplace, we also provide services and facilities to our whole community, interacting directly with them on a daily basis. And we need to make sure that all aspects of our service delivery and facilities are safe and inclusive. That is why I brought this motion forward. The other part of the staff comment that I wanted to respond to was where it says it is unclear to staff how the program would be implemented by council, as council is not a sporting organisation. Of course, we're not a sporting organisation. But we do own, manage and maintain tens of millions of dollars worth of sporting and recreational facilities, and we'll be adding to this once the sporting precinct is completed. And these are assets for our entire community to enjoy, including LGBTQIA+ members, not just straight binary hetero users. So to quote the Pride in Sport website, membership connects your organisation to Australia's leading inclusion program in the sport, recreation and physical activities industries, provides tailored support, resources and access to expert guidance to ensure athletes, employees, volunteers, officials and spectators feel safe, included and valued. So this motion is about ensuring that council's publicly facing strategies, actions, facilities and services are evidence-based, safe and inclusive, and that is what membership to ACON and Pride in Sport will deliver. And support a more informed and safer community for everyone. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any further speakers? Councillor Greenouch.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Whilst I appreciate what the councillor has said, I refer back to a meeting on the 5th of August about the value of memberships and, you know, looking at those and what bang for buck we're actually getting out of these memberships. So, for example, I require more information, like how many people will this benefit in our community? We do have Sports for All funding where we try to run activities suitable for all people in our community. So I have no issues with that. The problem I do have is I understand about the infrastructure and they are council-owned infrastructure, but having 14 years experience heading up a junior rugby league football club, we are bound by guidelines of New South Wales Rugby League, bylaws, etc. from Group 10. So I just don't see what we're actually going to get as a council out of this in terms of bang for buck. So I can't support the motion without further information. Having a look at the, you know, what we get, there's lots of things on here I did see, you know, about administration support, etc. I think our staff are smart enough to be able to find the support, like we're seeking legal advice. Lots of the stuff that are on there that it says we're going to get invitation to member events throughout the year, discounted tickets to annual awards events, discounted tickets to annual conferences, invitations to participate in Pride events where on offer. We can attend those anyway. So I just don't see the bang for buck that we can get, you know, for $7,000. So I'll be voting against the motion. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor. Any further speakers? Councillor Roddy.
I don't know if it's too late to do this, but can we vote on the two separately? The ACON and...
Up to the mover of the motion, whether she wants to, I suppose. It says at least one or both, so it doesn't really matter.
I suppose, I guess, given that my motion is actually kind of ambiguous on that.
It says one or both.
There's one or both, and I moved the motion as one or both, so I don't know.
How do we vote
Governance
on
Guru?
one or both without it being clear? So maybe we could just do them separately so it's
Would
clear.
you like to clarify, Councillor?
Well, look, I'm happy to do them separately, but I mean, the important one here is the Pride in Sport membership, because that's the one. The whole reason for doing this is to ensure that council and council staff have access to the support which clearly they're not necessarily getting enough of through the DCA membership. So, I mean,
Withdrawing number one.
Yeah, I'll withdraw number 1.
Okay, so we're going with number 2. Have that, Councillor Ruddy?
That's fine. It's her
All right.
motion. Can I speak?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. I'm not able to support this time around. I'm very much a supporter of joining this and doing this, but right now I can't support this. We've talked continuously about maintaining a balanced budget, and I just, whilst this is very important, I can't vote for it right now. I think, in future years when the budget's looking different, it might be something that might fit in better then. Also, just want to make a comment that Sport for All is for people with disability.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor Kinghorn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just would like to just double check with Director Maunder based on what Councillor McDonald was just saying. In the comment, it says with Diversity Council of Australia, this support also allows council access to resources to help council support services and facilities provided to the community. Is that not correct based on what Councillor McDonald was saying? It's just the workforce stuff, because if those resources are available, then I don't think we need the other one anyway.
Through Mr. Chair, short answer is yes, there's a multitude of resources available. Some of the ones that I referred to briefly when I was answering Councillor McDonald's question. It goes to a question of, I suppose, trying to address a direct matter and whether that is enough. But I haven't looked at the Pride in Sport website because I'm not a member yet, or at all, to be able to give you to say, yes, this information's available through this organisation or it isn't. So I can't say, I can't answer that part of where you're going, I think, Councillor.
Well, where I'm going is in relation to the issue that prompted this motion. Is that sort of support available through the Diversity Council of Australia to help the staff with that particular issue?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion, councillors? Councillor Duffy.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. At the moment, I can't support the resolution at all. Not because I don't agree with it or disagree with it, whatever the case may be. We've got a legal response coming, which we've asked for at a previous meeting, which Councillor Greenhill went to. Now, that may impact on what we have to do and what services we have to provide, and it could also impact on be something handed down by the state government. So I'm quite happy to wait and just see what happens, comes out of our legal advice coming from the organisation. So at the moment, I'll be voting against it, not because I disagree with it, agree with it. Yep.
Thanks. I'll just have a say on it, and as I indicated previously, I've a less than significant non-pecuniary interest in this matter, being president of the Orange District Football Association, which I've been for the last 15 years, and also president of the Orange Ex-Services Soccer Club for the last 30 years. I understand that the Orange District Football Association is also governed by the rules, laws and guidelines set down by Football New South Wales. So any requests should be made to them regarding this issue. I'd also argue that it is not council's responsibility to provide this type of thing. I believe that it's council's responsibility to provide amenities and facilities to conduct such sports in a safe manner. With regards to the Orange District Football Association, we're made up of 1,700 players, coaches and volunteers, all of whom are members of our association. So what that means is that it's up to our members to decide on whether they will or not support something like this, not me as an individual, because I am their president and represent both those organisations. And I also believe that community sporting groups such as football, rugby league, rugby union, anybody should have been asked to provide feedback in the first instance. So I'll be voting against it. Thank you. Councillor Mallard.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. I'm happy to support the motion and thank Councillor McDonald for explaining her reasoning in bringing the motion. I do want to note, I guess, on the idea yes, we're not a sporting organisation. I think Councillor McDonald's spoken to some of the issues that we do need to deal with, and the facilities that we do operate being one element of things. I also think for our council in particular, something that's pretty unique about Orange City Council is the community committees that we have and the connection that we have between our council and community organisations. And we do have a sport and recreation community committee. I think by us tapping into this sort of membership and having the support and the resources and the guidance available, we could actually help facilitate getting that information and building it through our connections with those community organisations and sporting clubs. So I think, yeah, it would be treading new ground, but it is, as Councillor McDonald has explained, important ground that we need to try to make sure that we are handling better, because I still have significant concerns and lack of clarity about the policy that was brought to us, inconsistencies around it that I know we're going to have a briefing on and discuss. But yeah, I think that policy being brought in the form it was brought has now exposed that yeah, we do have work that we need to do to understand better and to help work with not only council staff, but work in the community and with those connections to help build better understanding and better inclusivity into everything that's happening in our community. Thanks.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor Powell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Unfortunately, I've got more questions than I've got answers tonight, and that was a bit more unpacking. But I like yourself, sir. I've president of the Orange Basketball Association here for 7 years, and now a director of that. Trying to think how I can take that back into the association. It just really, and I thank Councillor Mallard for bringing up how can we work together, because it's something at this point in time I just can't support it. But as what Councillor Ruddy said, maybe down the track, once we unpack it a bit more, get all the key stakeholders, the sport associations on board and see how this works. It just really, yeah, it's, when I've been reading this thing during the week and I still couldn't quite grasp it, how we can actually, like Orange City Council, how can we grasp it? Taking on the point as what we've got all of these facilities, we've got the facilities, the actual association take over the games, memberships and all of that. So unfortunately tonight I can't support it, but hopefully down the track we can unearth something that we can actually get some, that we can work with anyhow. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor Greenouch.
Mr. Mayor, I just wanted to make another comment. I totally agree, with what Councillor Powers said. Moving forward, we should look to future-proof those things. I mean, the biggest problem, with the issue at the Aquatic Centre is we can't solve it because we don't have the money to just build more change rooms. It would be the same at Sturgeon Oval. I have 3 public toilets and there can be 5 mini teams playing at once. So I wouldn't be able to implement it. So, I just think, as Councillor Ruddy said, moving forward, into the future, it'll be stuff that we'd look at and we've just got to make sure we're mindful of it. But at the moment, I just don't see an immediate fix. So, yeah, that's just a comment. Thank you.
Councillor McDonald, would you like to sum up?
I'd love to. I'm a little bit confused as to why people think that council adopting this would automatically then make their own sporting clubs and organisations required to do anything. This is about making sure that council staff have access to the information. And as I pointed out, and I don't know whether the delay, Councillor Kinghorn missed it, but I did ask staff, they specifically access the supposed support they get from Diversity Council regarding the aquatic centre thing, and essentially the support that they did have access to clearly wasn't sufficient to stop this dangerous move from being made and brought up to us. Which is why I feel like we need to have better and specifically targeted. Sport for All's great, but as was pointed out, it's not. It's addressing one group, and I'm not saying one group over the other. This is about being inclusive for everybody, and this is about making sure that spaces are safe for everybody. And I'm not saying that we need to go and retrofit facilities. This is first and foremost, this is about having access to the support and resources of experts that deal with this. And just one little final note, I think you'll find that your state, national rugby league, rugby union, basketball, football associations are actually part of Pride in Sport and actually partake in what's called the Pride in Sport Index to make sure that their organisations and that their facilities are actually safe and inclusive for the rainbow community. So I'm not entirely sure why people think that this is something that's going to have to flow on directly to individual organisations. That's not what is in this motion. It's not what it's about. It's about making sure that these spaces, which, are tens of millions of dollars worth of amazing assets for our community, but are safe and inclusive for everybody, and that our staff have access to be able to make sure that those spaces stay safe and inclusive for our community. But I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor. Any further discussion? There being none, I'll put the motion, show of hands. Two against. 9. 2 for, 9 against. The motion is lost. Councillors, we'll go to item 4.2, notice motion. Parkour design. Councillor Greenhalgh, would you like to move your motion?
Absolutely, thank you.
Do you have a seconder? Councillor Duffy. Would you like to speak to it, Councillor?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this motion is just about reaffirming our commitment to establishing a parkour park in Orange as resolved by Council on the 7th of November 2023. It fits well with our community strategic plan about a healthy and active community that is supported by sport and recreation infrastructure. This is something that we can actually deliver in this term of Council. We do have quite a lot of large infrastructure projects happening at the moment. And it's a great opportunity, I think, to set us aside of other cities in the Central West. None of our surrounding LGAs have a parkour park. We are very fortunate that we have Connor, who has been overseas and he's coached at a very high level of parkour. So I think it's something we can certainly look to capitalise on and to bring people into our community. Parkour is not just about adults participating. For those of you that don't know, it's all about a training where participants are focused on moving from point A to point B as efficient and quickly as possible. But in terms of children, it teaches children to run, jump, climb, coordination, roll over obstacles, and to build physical strength and agility along with coordination and confidence. So this is just following up on that. We do need to be ground ready with a design to be able to apply for grants, but I think we should seriously consider looking at delivering this project in this term of Council if we can find the funding. So I think this is a really great idea, and it fits well down in our little precinct with the multi-purpose court, and following up, the next thing would be to start looking at the same sort of thing for the pump track that our community has indicated is so well needed as well. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you to Councillor for bringing this. I'm happy with point 1. I don't have a problem with establishing the parkour park, but we've we keep hearing talking here about how we've got to balance the budget and keep it balanced, and now we're talking about including a $300,000 hit for this. I'd like to know why we can't. I mean, I'm not saying that it's not needed. I've certainly got a 10-year-old boy who keeps asking me, when are we getting a park or park? But I thought our higher priority was the indoor play centre that we're currently trying to work through as well. I really look. At a push, I could support 1 and 2, but and maybe 3. It's just a noting, but I can't support point 4 because $300,000 hit. That's a massive hit, and we've still, as the councillor pointed out, we've still got these other large infrastructure projects that need to be completed, and yeah, I can't support the $300,000.
I'd like to propose an amendment to the motion if I could. I can speak to that, and the amendment would be: I'm happy with 1 and 2 as Councillor McDonald is. There's no doubt that this motion may be beneficial to the community, indeed will be supported in due course. But in my opinion, it doesn't meet the code of meeting practice in a number of areas. And I would suggest that a motion be moved that we ask the Chief Executive Officer to provide a report for the next council meeting on the possible funding sources, allowing us to go forward. If I can get a seconder.
I'll second that.
By Councillor McDonald. The discussion with regards to that.
Can I just ask a question?
Yes, you can.
Can you explain to me why it doesn't meet the code of meeting practice and why
it
wouldn't have picked me up on that when I submitted the motion?
I think it's 10.9 from memory, if I remember the. 10.9 there.
Motions requiring.
My memory's going back a while. You may have been overlooked by the staff.
Yeah, 10.9 requires a motion to be deferred if it would involve the expenditure of funds on works or services not already in the operational plan, unless the motion itself identifies the source of funding for the proposed expenditure.
Yeah, I think that's quite clear.
Sorry, can I speak to that? I respectfully disagree with your interpretation, Mayor. It says a motion or an amendment to a motion which, if passed, would require the expenditure of funds. My reading of Councillor Greenhalgh's motion is it's saying to consider the allocation in number 2 and in number 4 in the next quarterly budget review. So
correct.
My reading would be that a report would come that would outline decisions we could make. Passage of this resolution would not require council to go and spend the money.
Okay, I just asked for clarification from. Going to give me clarification.
I think, Councillor Mallard, you're correct when reading through that as well. We will bring a report back as part of the budget process to see if we can accommodate that.
Excellent. And we may not need it. Like if we're able to secure funding, obviously we're going to secure funding. But I think we need to deliver something this term of council. And yeah, that's just my opinion anyway. But thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Power.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My reading of number 4 is that we approve it. If we do approve it, then it sits in the budget. And then as what the last aspects of that, it says the Parkview within the current council term and to maximise council's ability to apply for external grant funding. So how I read that is, if we do approve it, it sits in there. No, we haven't got the money, but it gives us time frame.
Correct.
To allow the councillors to source out a grant fund to cover it. But if we don't get it in there, then we don't give the councillors the ability to apply for grant because we haven't got it in the budget. I think the previous CEO used to always say shadows and how he worked. Like if we don't do it, then we don't get it in there. But then that will give us an opportunity for source grant funding for $300,000. Then when we got, yes, we got it. We can do from there. But if we don't get it in there now, we don't allow the staff to actually go and get some grant money for it. That's what that point 4 is. The point 4 is vital to this whole aspect of 1, 2, and 3. That's what I see anyhow, Mr. Mayor. I hand back.
Thank you. And based on the clarification, I withdraw the amendment to the motion. Yes, Councillor Malloy.
Thanks, Mayor. Sorry, having contributed to you withdrawing your amendment, I will move my own amendment. And respectfully, and if I get to speak on it, disagree with Councillor Power a bit. I would move an amendment to make the motion only items 1, 2, and 3, and not to include item 4. If I can get a seconder, I'll speak to that.
Oh, yeah.
My amendment.
Councillor Greenhalgh, will you accept the amendment?
No.
Okay.
I've got a seconder.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Yep. So I'll
speak.
If I can
please.
speak to the amendment. Thanks. Yes, I also appreciate Councillor Greenhalgh bringing the motion and the dedication she's got to delivering on this, and I want to see council deliver projects in this term of council. I'm happy to support us finding the $7,500 in the next quarterly budget review to look at getting the design prepared. That's the next step. We've done the initial work of supporting it. I'm happy to reaffirm our commitment as in point 1. I'm happy to note the total estimated project cost of approximately $300,000 in point 3. But point 4, I'm not happy to support. I can support the rest of the motion, hence the amendment. We have a number of competing priorities and projects that we are interested in delivering. I appreciate Councillor Greenhalgh is passionate about this one and pushing it. But we adopted a budget just a couple of months ago. We went through a workshop process before developing that budget. We made decisions about what we wanted to see included, what we didn't want to see included. We worked our way through that process. I don't think the quarterly budget review is the place to go looking at including several $100,000 worth of infrastructure spending on one project when we've got all of those other projects we want to look at as well. Let's get the design done. I don't see it quite the same as Councillor Power. I mean, we need the design. That should help refine the cost estimate. That gives us a design that can accompany funding applications. We can look for grants from that point. If we've got a design and we're ready to go in next year's budget process, then we can look at what projects do we want to see. Is it indoor playground? Is it pump track? Is it parkour park? Can we do a couple of them? Is it whatever other things we want to look at delivering? But I just don't think it's appropriate for us to put one project in for consideration at the next quarterly budget review. And I think that's not the way we should be doing process about making major infrastructure spending decisions up to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Thanks.
Councillor Duffy.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm not fussed about how passionate Councillor Greenhalgh is, but I think we're just splitting hairs with regards to the amendment. I'm going to speak against the amendment, mainly because the word in point 4 is consider. Consider mean, and I got to give credit to the CEO here. He's new in town, and I do believe we have 3 or 4 accountants in our finance committee. But it says consider putting the $300,000 in the budget. Now, I would tend to think when the report came back for the putting it in the fourth quarter or the last quarter, staff would have a report to say, hey, listen, we don't have the money, we can't do this, and we can move on from there. But they can, in that report, identify where that funding can come from. If we have a good rapport with our local member, bearing in mind what's coming up. And I think that's why I'm going to support speak against the amendment and support the motion.
So, Councillor Ruddy.
I am speaking for the amendment, I want to make a point that there's been a couple of times it's been brought up tonight about applying for grant funding and getting a grant to build the park. The chance of getting a grant that's going to cover the total amount of that 300,000 is very slim. Maybe Director Maunder can answer me on this one, but do you ever get grant funding that covers the full amount of a project, or is it often 50% or something thereabouts?
Through you, Mr Mayor, both, Councillor. Sometimes we do get them. More often than not, though, it's a 50-50 contribution.
Okay.
It depends entirely on the grant program.
I think, and thank you. Again, just to mirror more of what Councillor Mallard said, there's a lot of projects in the pipeline, and they're all important to some of us or all of us. And I think that considering or potentially earmarking $300,000 for something, I just don't think it's responsible. We need to get those plans in place so that we can take the next steps and potentially become candidates to apply for grants when they become available. But to earmark this as being more important than any of the other projects that are out there right now, when we've decided to have a balanced budget, just doesn't seem like it's it.
Any further speakers? Councillor.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sorry. King on. Councillor King on.
Yep, thank you. Mr Mayor, I just have a question through you to Councillor Greenhouse, I guess. In this background information, she's talking about the examples include Newcastle Park or Park, approximately $30,000. What's the $30,000? Why was there's only $30,000, or was that for the design?
Thank you, Councillor Kinghorn. Newcastle's park is very, very small. It probably, to be honest, is half the size of this room, if that, and it's shoved in between two buildings right in the CBD. So if they can attract that type of facility there and get that level of competition there. The biggest cost of our design, and Director Maunder and I have investigated this, originally we thought that the surface that we had down at Mulder Park would be sufficient, but it wouldn't meet the safety requirements. That's why we would have to do the soft fall. So that's why the estimated cost is a little bit higher than what we initially thought it would be.
Okay, thank you. I just also would like to know, so this would either be to the CEO or to the director, just to confirm that the words "to consider including," what's the onus on council then to allocate that funding? I'm sure we've had this conversation before about to consider, because Mr Waddell would say, oh, we considered it, we couldn't do it. So does that then mean, from what I understand from what the CEO was saying earlier, that you then do have to come back with us with some more information about it? Or is it how having those words in there, does that reduce the likelihood that you have to put it in there?
We won't be putting it into it. It'll be coming back to council with more information. With council, we've just only recently adopted a budget.
Yeah, so having that there doesn't change the quarterly budget review. It's just something that you look at to see whether there's anything spare.
If there's anything spare,
right?
Or we may bring back options, councillors, in relation to what then we take out of the budget to accommodate something new.
Yeah, okay. All right. All right, thank you.
Any further speakers? Councillors, we have an amendment. That's to have items 1, 2 and 3. I'll put the amendment first. Show of hands. Five. What are you doing, Councillor Peterson?
No, voting against the amendment.
Thank you. So 5 for the amendment. Show of hands 4.
Against.
Against, sorry. 6. So the amendment is lost. So got the motion now. Show of hands for the motion.
Can I just wrap up, if that's okay?
Yes.
Yep. So yeah, I just want to reaffirm that this is the commitment to establishing Parkour Park in Orange is a resolution of the previous council. So we've already committed to doing it. And it's been 2 years and we haven't got a design done. So if we're going to be a progressive council, we can't just keep splitting hairs. We need to actually start.
Excuse me, Councillor. Councillor Peterson, can you put yourself on mute, please?
Like, we need to start doing these designs. You know, so like, I don't know what we're going to deliver in this term of council if we keep splitting hairs about what we're going to do. So it aligns with that age group in the community strategic plan. You know, I'd like to see all the things done. And the next one, you know, if we don't have a priority list, I don't know how we're going to get anywhere. Then the next one, you know, might be the pump track. It might be the indoor play centre. It depends what the reports come back with. And, you know, as the CEO's said, what funding we've got available. So, yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Councillor.
Clarification.
So, Councillor.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to get a bit of an idea. When are we going to start working on next year's budget? Because, I mean, if we can't really do something like this in the current fourth quarter, we can work on it for the next budget as well. So I just want to know, when are we going to start that work on the budget? Previously, councils, we've started in November. But the last couple of years, we've been late with well past that date.
Yes, please.
Councillors, the intention is to start before the end of this year, moving forward, but we still got to close out this current year as well too, and we're a little bit behind on that at the moment.
Thank you. I'll now put the motion. Show of hands. Those against? 9 for, 2 against. Thank you, councillors. It's passed. Councillors, going to item number 5, general reports, 5.1, ALGA conference report. There's recommendation on page 23. Can I have somebody move and second? Moved by Councillor Greenhout, second by Councillor McDonnell. Any discussion? Councillor McDonnell.
Thank you, Mayor. And I'd like to, I was actually going to ask if this hadn't appeared here. I thought maybe.
Sorry?
If this hadn't appeared in this paper, I was going to ask when it was coming. I thought maybe the previous CEO had gone on holidays with it in his hands. So I'd just like to thank the former CEO for doing the bulk of this, and for those councillors who attended who submitted their takeaways. I would like to point out that there was one councillor who didn't submit as is expected.
Councillor, can you just stick to the facts of what you're talking about? Not
Councillor Duffy was advised by the previous CEO to provide.
Councillor, can you just stick to the facts and not?
Point of order. That actually is a fact. It's in the papers. Just reading a fact.
For you to nominate councillors in.
Make a comment, Mr. Mayor. I'll make a comment. I'll make it directly at Councillor.
No, you're not making any comment against anyone.
Well,
Let's move
I'll
forward.
make a comment about the report.
Point of order, Mr. Mayor. Councillor McDonnell was speaking.
Thank you.
Unless there's a point of order being raised.
Okay,
then
thank you. Continue, Councillor.
Okay, I get that you're taking exception with what I'm saying, but I'm actually stating facts because it's in the report. So I'm not bringing out allegations that are unbased. Right here in black and white. So I think it's really important for transparency and accountability for our community that we all participate in what is expected when ratepayers are sending us off to conferences. Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor. Councillor Duffy.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Normally the meeting is the third meeting of the month, which is usually the main one. That meeting there, but that's not the reason why I didn't submit a report. I've had family reasons, and I've had family health issues as in regards to work commitments as well, and that's the reason why I've got most of the report done, which is just the same. It's very similar to what Councillor Whitten did.
Are you seeking any
about the thing?
extension?
But if you're not happy with it, councillors, put in a code of conduct and build some gallows down in Robertson Park and see if we can hang me at a certain time. I mean, it's
point of order. That's not appropriate.
Councillor Duffy, just stick to the facts, please. Are you asking for an extension to submit your report?
I'm happy to give the report before the next meeting. I'm not particularly.
Thanks, Councillor Duffy.
Simply because we have a CEO or a previous CEO receiving $400,000 plus, and we're getting a measly $20,000.
Point of order.
As simple as
relevant,
that. We shouldn't be
councillor.
doing anything.
Well, look forward to receiving your report next, councillor. Councillors, I will control the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor Duffy. Councillor Ruddy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say it was fantastic to read everyone's takeaways. For the first time since I became a councillor, it was nice to see a comprehensive report that almost everyone contributed to. I'm sure that the community will also appreciate an opportunity to see what this conference was, what we got out of it, and what we spent money on. It is important that we remain accountable to our community. That's why I raised this motion in the first place, so that the community is able to see who's going, what we're learning from it, what we're doing while we're there. This was 5 days. This was quite a long conference. So this report actually came through a meeting after it was supposed to. So I think we resolved that it would be within 3 meetings. This has come through in 4. So there was actually more than enough time to submit a report. But I'm excited to continue to see these reports come back from all the conferences we attend, so that the community knows what we're doing and that we're not wasting time and money while we're away.
Councillor. Any further discussion? Councillor Mallard.
Thanks, Mayor. Yeah, and thanks to everyone who contributed to the report. I think reading it, and this was the first year I haven't attended the ALGA National General Assembly. Unfortunately, it clashed with birthday plans this year, so but it reinforced for me what I think I said in the debate when Councillor Ruddy brought her notice of motion a little while ago. The reports are really helpful. Like it's great to have this compilation of everyone's experiences and takeaways, while at the same time they don't do the same job of actually going to the conference, and that's why I think it's really valuable that we do have a lot of councillors go to these conferences for the personal learning and networking that they get to do at those opportunities. So, yeah, lots of great information in the report. I appreciate it, and thank everyone for summing things up. Yeah, at the same time, I definitely know, like, going along, the amount you take in, you can't manage to just transmit that in a written report even. I know Councillor Greenhalgh put in quite a bit, and some of the other councillors as well, in terms of the amount of info you provided. But yeah, the personal experience of it is really important as well. So I'm looking forward to the future conference opportunities when they come up, and bringing them back for those who aren't able to make it to a particular conference as well. Thanks.
Thanks, councillor. Any further discussion, councillors? There being none, I will move the motion. Show of hands for. Unanimous. Item 5.2, fees and charges amendments. There's a recommendation on page 35. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Powell, seconded by Councillor Ruddy. Any discussion? There being none, I'll move the motion. Show of hands for. Unanimous. Item 5.3, review of abortion services, Orange LGA. There's a recommendation on page 39, councillors. Can I have a mover and seconder? Moved by Councillor Ruddy, seconded by Councillor Mallard. Any discussion on this item? Councillor Ruddy.
Just a really quick one from me. I want to big shout out to Kate Shepherd, who did a lot of work on this and just hit wall after wall, but she didn't give up. It definitely wasn't an easy task. I am very excited about the proposed new clinic. I've met with some of the wonderful team who are involved with bringing this to life, and I'm looking forward to its official launch, and some more information for everybody else when that happens. Yeah.
Thanks, councillor. Any further discussion? There being none, I'll put the motion. Show of hands for. Thank you. Unanimous. Okay, item number 6, closed meeting. The Chief Executive Officer will now advise Council if any written submissions have been received relating to any item advertised for consideration by closed meeting of Orange City Council.
Mr. Mayor, there have been no submissions.
In accordance with the Local Government Act 1993 and the Local Government General Regulation 2021, in the opinion of the Chief Executive Officer, the following business is of kind as referred to in Section 10A2 of the Act and should be dealt with in confidential session of closed meeting held to the press and public. They are item 6.1, tender F4456, design, construction and supply of trailer stage is classified confidential under the provisions of Section 10A2C, information that would, if disclosed, confer a commercial advantage on a person with whom council is conducting or proposes to conduct business. 6.2, submission redaction report for the 2nd of September 2025 is classified confidential under the provision of Section 10A2E, information that would, if disclosed, prejudice the maintenance of law. I have a mover and seconder that we go into closed. Moved by Councillor Powell, seconded by Councillor Greenhalgh.